Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Welcome back for another video. Today we're going to be talking about why silver shortages can be concerning for investors in 2019. I found a very good article by JM Bullion, one of the biggest bullion dealers on the internet, alongside with APMEX, Provident Metals, Modern Coin Mart, etc. But this article is really, really interesting. They dive really deep into the topic and give some hypothetical, some other points to the topic that really got me thinking, and I wanted to discuss it with you guys and have see your input. I love seeing what you guys have to say as well. A lot of you guys know your stuff, and it's just to really bring further topic and discussion into the world of investing, especially with something like silver shortages, because this is a very thin market. They actually mention that, especially with physical gold and silver. There's silver ETFs and stuff like that where it's all on paper, traded almost like the stocks, but physical gold and silver is a little different because they have to be able to supply that, and we talk about supply and demand. But anyways, before we get into the article, I also want to mention how excited I am to announce we just passed 14,000 subscribers. We're actually at almost 14,200 now. I just hit 14,000 2 days ago, and we're already on the way to hit 15,000, which I cannot thank you guys enough for all the support. It really excites me. I made a post on my YouTube channel about this. It's interesting to see that more people are taking interest in physical gold and silver. All my videos are talking about the physical metal, and to see more people watching my videos and engaging and subscribing really gives me faith, and it excites me to see that people are taking interest and are actually, caring to see what's going on in the world of, precious metals. Not only just for the ETFs, or the even option markets and stuff like that, but that physical bullion. And it really does excite me because this, especially when there's not much talk or buzz going on. When Bitcoin was buzzing last year, my videos were getting lots of views, but that was just a lot of people who were quick into the market and were probably going to be quick to get out, and obviously were most of them. But stuff like this, there isn't too much. Silver prices are pretty low. There's not too much hype around it, but people are still taking interest into the markets and trying to dive into what's going on in the world of precious metals. So it really does excite me. I think for 15,000 subscribers we're going to do a giveaway. I've been in touch with one of my favorite mints. They contacted me. I'm not going to say the mint right now. I'll announce it when we do the giveaway, but they're talking about throwing some silver in for the giveaway as well. I'm going to throw some silver in my own, so stay tuned for a 15,000 subscriber giveaway. By the looks of it, it's going to be pretty soon. Usually it takes me about a month to gain 1,000 subs, but at this rate, for the next week or two, I'll be announcing how the contest is going to go. But anyways, I just want to say thank you guys and give a little shout out to that. But anyways, so we can get into this article talking about silver shortages. I'll also link this article in the description of the video as well. So it says, let us begin by defining what we mean by either a gold bullion shortage or a shortage of silver bullion supplies. Bullion shortage: when the physical bullion market's available bullion supply for sale in immediate delivery is unable to sufficiently meet the investing public's demand. Now, this is interesting because with the ETF, or anything, with their, whether it's futures, options, you can buy and it's on paper, so there's no it's not like they have to, when we talk about supply and demand, low supply, high demand shoots the price up. Well, with the ETF, or anything that's under just a market where it's traded online, the supply is unlimited, basically. Just like a paper, just like the fiat currency, it's a promise. You can say, you can give it away. But with physical demand, with physical precious metals, you have to actually be able to supply that. So if there isn't enough silver or gold to supply the demand, you can see where the profit gap or potential could come in place. Especially with gold and silver, with if it's getting harder to mine, or miner fees, or digging it out the ground, or laws. There's tons of different things or derivatives that could play a part in why the price could go up, or make it more difficult to supply the people that are trying to buy the physical metal. But anyways, they say today the majority of wealth within the silver and gold sector is tied to derivatives, not physical bullion. Non-bullion silver and gold derivatives are generally designed to track silver and gold spot prices, futures, forwards, options, ETFs, etc., like I just mentioned. These markets have been recently estimated to have 5 trillion in silver and 18 trillion in gold traded annually. Yet smaller physical silver and gold bullion markets remain highly liquid, meaning the ease of finding ready buyers virtually anywhere in the world is very high. In contrast, the physical gold and silver bullion market worldwide is a rather thinly traded market. Although there are many physical bullion owners around the world, the vast majority are not looking to sell their holdings at any one given time, which is really interesting to think about. That is true. A lot of people that invest in silver and gold and precious metals, the physical asset, they're buying to hold, so it is easy to look at, how much has been accumulated or what, or the demand there, but just because the demand is there doesn't mean the people are going to be reselling like the ETFs or shares or anything. People are buying to hold and accumulate their own because physical gold and silver is wealth preservation. You're stacking, you're putting your fiat currency into an asset, a physical asset, almost as a time capsule to preserve your wealth against hyperinflation. So a lot of people aren't reselling as they would if it's a market, if it's a ETF or anything like that, where you just buy, sell all day long. So it is an interesting point to say. They go a little deeper in this, and they say this means purchases or sales of large lots of bullion can have big effects on local and global market prices, almost saying people could be almost as a whale. When we talk about cryptocurrency, the biggest one I saw was with Steam. So whales are people who own so much of an asset that if they buy or sell even a portion of their investment, it can drastically change the price of that asset, going on the market. Whether Steam, a lot of people were Steam whales. They had tons and tons of Steam they bought for super cheap, but they owned so much of the supply that if they were to sell off, then it can drastically change the price, shooting the price up or down depending on if they bought or sold, and it can change the market. And they're called, some people say they're pump and dumps, but with this, it's not really a pump and dump. This is more of just someone owning so much it could change the market price. And they say, as a hypothetical example, say some billionaires call us up at JM Bullion saying we want to buy 500 tons of gold and 10,000 tons of silver and have it delivered upon payment clearance. We would have a really difficult time fulfilling such a massive order in a reasonably short time frame. Why would that be so? Let's do the math. 1 metric ton of bullion is approximately 32,150 troy ounces. A large ready inventor of over 16 million ounces of gold bullion and 321 million ounces of silver bullion is simply not sitting in one vault ready to be sold based on one or a few large investors' whims. Over the past 7 years, the world has bought on average about 40 million ounces of gold bullion bars and coins, as well as 215 million ounces of silver and gold bars and coins. So even if a group of wealthy investors had the 26 billion in US dollars to move into the physical bullion, not even COMEX bullion stockpiles could fulfill that size order in a timely manner today. So they're saying not even physically could it be possible, but even COMEX, even ETFs, that would still even be hard because people, and that's much easier to purchase online compared to physical bullion. You have to think about shipping, handling, how much manpower that would take if they even have the supply. A lot of these dealers do have a lot of bullion, but they also have to resell. They have other customers. Like, it's not just sitting in a vault where you can just buy. So it is an interesting way to think about it. I never thought about having too much or too much demand or too much supply to fit the demand. And they say, again, given the fact that physical silver and gold bullion markets are thinly traded, such a massive multi-billion-dollar order and physical delivery would likely cause spot prices to dramatically rise, what I was just mentioning. Bullion premiums over spot to balloon and bullion shortage to develop. So this is what I was talking about with the whales. They're saying if someone did make that order, it definitely would cause spot price to rise, which it would be almost in a bubble or balloon. and shortages would rise because that, obviously it would have to fit the demand. But in times of market tranquility, North America's network of government and private mint bullion suppliers consistently meet demands with ample supply. Yet even today, a substantial rush of new capital flows into physical bullion markets would throw bullion prices and supplies into a well, I'm not even trying to say that word. But anyways, they go into further context. So when I read this at first, it really did intrigue me. It really brought a new light to the conversation, and really made me look at angles I never thought about. Hence why I really like this article. But they're mentioning further context as the end of 2016, Credit Suisse estimates a total world wealth of 256 trillion US dollars. In our prior hypothetical example, we mentioned how bullion order of some 26 billion would clear out all the warehouses of physical COMEX silver, gold, and bullion inventories. Yet that massive hypothetical order represents only about a 1/10,000th of the world's known wealth. So according to the World Global Council, the entire above ground supply of physical gold is about 6 billion ounces. In silver, total about um so they're mentioning silver. In the silver, total ounces above ground, 0.999 fine investment grade form is slightly less than even gold's above ground total. And this is what we're talking about. The gold to silver ratio, how much gold is coming out of the ground compared to silver, is really interesting. A lot of gold is remelted, used for coins, jewelry. Silver is used a lot more in the technological world. I know gold is as well, but silver is lost a lot more. A lot of it's in a lot of medical equipment, technology, cell phones, laptops, and a lot of it is lost. It's not scrapped to the same rate that gold is. So when it's coming out of the ground, roughly 9 to 1, they're saying even could be less than gold. Then the shortage is a lot higher than gold. A lot of gold is recycled. So if someone buys a gold necklace and they want to scrap it into a gold chain or pawn it or whatever, it's going to still stay in the cycle of that asset. But silver is getting lost, especially if it's coming out of the ground closer to gold, with the prices such a lot, with a large gap. The gold to silver ratio is around 85 to 1 right now or something. But they're talking about past bullion sort. I'm not going to go over this entire article. You guys can check it out in the description. But I'm just going to kind of skim through. They're just saying if this phenomenon repeated with silver spot at $18 an ounce, we would see silver bullion coins being sold for over $32 an ounce. Today, gold spot price of $12.50 an ounce means coins sold at $15.62 on average on an exchange such as eBay. And this is definitely true, especially on eBay. People have to get their premiums back, especially if there is some semi-numismatic value or even some type of premium. Not even just talking about the collector value or numismatic coins, but just bullion could be doubling the spot price. If the world suffers another major financial crisis, it is likely we will gain a witness large money flow into the physical bullion markets, likely again, resulting in physical silver and gold bullion shortages. When it occurs exactly, why it happens, how it comes out, are all conjectured at the moment. Relatively certain it is the world's currently thin traded bullion markets that would react violently under such conditions. Further bullion or future bullion shortages are a very real possibility. So this was a really interesting article. Like I said, I will post it in the description of the channel or of the video if you guys want to check it out for yourself. What do you guys have to say about this? I thought it was really interesting, the angles they set, because a lot of people can talk about this, but a lot of people are just individual investors, people like me and you. But for an entire bullion exchange like Jam Bullion to bring this topic into perspective, it really does bring a new angle, because they are the dealers. We're the customers, they're suppliers. So for them to make an article about this really opens up another perspective on the reality and the potential of what would happen. If this is something they're talking about, they have tons and tons and tons and tons of ounces, or of gold and silver. But if they're even mentioning something of we could not fit the supply or fit an order, what would happen, it was just really interesting to read. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you guys thought about this. What is your idea on this matter? Did you think it was a good article? Did you think there's other factors that play into this? If so, let me know down below. Anyways, just to recap, I do want to thank you guys all for hitting 14,000 subscribers. Stay tuned for a 15,000 subscriber giveaway. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you do that to stay tuned for more videos like this and also be a part of that giveaway. I'm so happy to be making content that you guys enjoy and just to be a part of this community. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys soon. Peace.